you need to in order to be able to represent the Bahamas and come back with a medal, hopefully?
Well, I just can focus more on my finish. Make sure that's up to par because that's what it's get you through the race and get you a good time. So I just can continue to be strong and run hard so I get do better.
Outside of sports, as far as academics, what's your long-term goals? What do you want to be? What do you see yourself doing once it's all done with track and field?
Academics-wise, I want to take up computer science. I don't know exactly which field I want to do yet, but I'll figure it out.
And there you have it. That is Michael Stiles. He'll be representing the Bahamas at this year's games in the 400 meters under 20 boys. Hopefully the 4x4 as well too. He's a kid that's running with a heavy heart. He has a lot to offer, a lot to prove, and hopefully he can come back with a medal and represent the Bahamas. I'm pretty sure you'll do well. So good luck heading into Jamaica, Michael. Now we're joined by senior guy Shama Smith, sprint sensation. He will be representing the Bahamas in the 400 and 200 under 20 boys at this year's game. First and foremost, congratulations, Shama.
Thank you very much.
I know I've been watching you for many years right at the sports complex, competing, coming first, time after time after time, but this is your first time making the curfew team, correct?
Yes, sir.
What was the feeling like once you would have known on Sunday night after the curfew trials were finally done and you were named to that team?
It was a big relief. Coming on the season was very tough. I had a couple minor injuries, but through it all, we still stuck it out, and now we are today. Now,
I know, Shama, you did not perform particularly well in the 400. I know that I met you last week. I interviewed you, and you said that you didn't run your best race, but you were still glad that you was able to make the team. What's going to be your mindset going into Jamaica now?
We got to stay focused, stay positive. There's a reason behind all this, so we just got to go there and show our reason.
And how did you get in the track and the field?
It was because of my mother. She passed away when I was 8 years old, and ever since, I just did it for her, to try for her.
I know you guys recently came from Texas. You went to Texas, took part of the Texas Tech, I believe, invitational track meet. You had a chance to see guys like Terrence in action. He's a guy that's from Grand Bahama that we all love, and he's doing an exceptional job at the NCAA level, the highest level in track and field right now. What was it like to be in that arena, running indoors, seeing Terrence in action, having an opportunity to compete amongst so many different college scouts and coaches?
It was my first indoor track meet ever, so it was like a big eye-opener. So I went out there and I did my thing.
Jamaica has produced some pretty good athletes over the years. In fact, based on research, I think they would have won 44 consecutive Carifta track and field championships. Yeah. Now we're hoping we can hopefully break that cycle either this year, next year, very soon. But what's your expectations once you get into Jamaica?
I know Jamaica has some great competition, so I use that as a motive to work harder and come out on top at all times.
There you have it. That is Shama Smith, and that is he's going to be representing the Bahamas in the 200 and 400, and hopefully the relays. Shama is a promising athlete. I trust me when I say this. You will be hearing more about Shama Smith in the near future. And that's going to do it for us here at the Grand Bahamas Sports Complex for this special edition of Sports 360 as Team Bahamas and 11 athletes in general from Grand Bahama prepare to head into Jamaica for the 49th version of the Carifta Track and Field Championships. Hopefully these athletes come back with many medals, and hopefully they make the Bahamas proud as they go and represent us at the highest junior level track and field championships in this region. Thank you guys for tuning in to Sports 360.
As an artist, I travel all over the world, and I find inspiration all around me. In the people, and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty. From Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station. This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamila Missick. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, it is an initiative officials believe to be the first of its kind. Various government agencies joining forces with the Royal Bahamas Police Force to conduct a walkabout throughout several settlements in the 8 Mile Rock area. Ramiko Knowles was there.
A multi-agency approach to community policing taking place in the 8 Mile Rock District today. The Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Bahamas Immigration, Customs, and many other government agencies coming together to hear concerns from residents living in the 8 Mile Rock community.
This is a testimony of a unified approach to community policing.
Officer in charge of the Northern Bahamas, Assistant Commissioner of Police Theophilus Cunningham, and Commanding Officer of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force in the North, Stephen Roll, believe the initiative will help to combat crime and create a safer community.
We were planning a community walkabout from the police department in compliance with priority 3 of the Commissioner's policing plan. And the various agencies wanted to be a part of the process. They wanted also to be a part of the problem-solving strategies that the police has implemented.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Force is stationed in Grand Bahama, so we are part of the community. So the only way we can really be a part of the community is assist the community. So we think if every government agency come together, we can all assist in trying to solve this problem.
Team leaders from various government agencies in the North going door to door to hear firsthand from residents.
It's indeed a pleasure to join in the initiative with the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Moving forward into this new season in our organization, we're under new leadership with Assistant Director Agatha Joyce at the helm, and we're now expanding our reach from out the 4 walls of immigration.
It feels full circle, you know. Like I said, just growing up in these streets, running through the bushes, being on the Bayside, and coming back in, be able to listen to some of the residents, some of the people that I grew up with, and find out what their concerns are, and how best that we could help them. And that's truly what this is about.
You have fishermen that are located in this community as well. They have some concerns, some of the concerns related more to the use of compressors. Some may have addressed the legal size of the lobster. Some persons may have wanted to know what is the closure of each season, whether it related to stone crab, crawfish. These are different type of questions we get on the daily basis. So we just wanted to make sure that the public is well informed.
Now, aside from addressing some of the physical needs of residents in the 8 Mile Rock community, local pastors were also on hand to assess some of the spiritual needs.
My presence here today is to combined with the police force to be a spiritual support to the community. Also listening to the needs of the people, knowing that as the needs come forth, we as the church could assist.
We've been praying and praying and praying. You know, prayer changes things. When we look around in our society today and we look at all of the crime that is taking place, I thought it fit when I was approached to be a part of this initiative.
A lot of people have a lot of funerals going on this weekend. So, you know, just trying to encourage them as far as that is concerned, that they would understand that God is going to get them through it. And I like what the commission is doing, and I pray that this would not just be a once-a-year thing.
Now, the officer in charge of the Northern Bahamas says they hope to continue this approach in other communities throughout Grand Bahama. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Now, officials from the Department of Social Services, Urban Development, and Environmental Health Services also joining the multi-agency walkabout to address some of the social ills that exist in the community. Assistant Director of Environmental Health Services, Bertha McPhee-Duncanson, says she heard complaints from residents on several matters. Chief Welfare Officer with responsibility for West Grand Bahama, Rochelle Minnis, says it was important for them to also be on the ground to hear.
One of the concerns we have is the indiscriminate dumping. We have derelict vehicle, and then I was just made aware of the water quality. They're saying that still the salinity is still high. So we will follow up on that with our own analysis, and then we will check the persons who are responsible for the distribution of water within this district to determine, you know, the authenticity of that complaint.
That's why a lot of persons has been talking about how they can access home repairs. We know that we've had Hurricane Dorian, and there are still some persons in this community whose homes are not being repaired. And then there are a few residents talking about being able to get on the food coupon. So we were here today to encourage them, to direct them as to how they can obtain those services.
Senator Kirkland Russell says an initiative like the walkabout is long overdue. Chief Counselor for West Grants Bahama, Shama Smith, thanking all of the agencies for their collaboration.
This is exactly the concept that urban renewal wishes to take. This is what it is all about. It is about bringing all of these departments together to discover the issues, meet the residents, hear their concern, and then get back around the table and then see how best we could find solutions to these various problems. Indeed, I could say this in the walkabout, we would have discovered various concerns just from this walkabout. And so I want to really, on behalf of the Minister for Social Service and Urban Development, Minister O.P. Welchcombe, along with Minister Lisa Ramming, thank ACP Cunningham.
You have all of these agencies under one umbrella in a community or communities, that persons in the community will be able to ask the necessary questions. For me and the council, this is right in the mandate of our vision of what we want to do for the Western District area. We want to be able to bring these agencies in town meetings like this so persons throughout the community could ask the tough questions to the government agencies. Now, to have it show up at our door is truly a blessing.
The incoming president of the University of the Bahamas, along with members of the UB North team, paying a courtesy call to the Minister of Grants Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, today. Minister Moxie expressing excitement for her ministry to partner with the university, as outlined in the Davis Cooper administration's Blueprint for Change. Dr. Eric Rowland, an academic with 30 years of experience, was appointed as the next president of UB. The appointment takes effect on the 1st of August 2022. Dr. Rowland, one of 3 shortlisted finalists for the position of president, was the most qualified and experienced candidate to lead the university through a bold transformation that will undergird its aggressive accreditation agenda. The incoming president also has a record of success in developing dynamic and robust corporate engagement and partnership building strategies, which are vital targets for UB. He currently serves as Dean of the College of Business Administration, Interim Dean of the College of the Extended University, Chief International Officer and the Provost Associate for Strategic Transformation at California Polytechnic and State University, and his blend of international experience in strategic leadership, academic development, stakeholder engagement, and research spans countries across 4 continents. Now, Dr. Rowland will succeed current President Dr. Rodney D. Smith, who concludes his tenure on the 31st of July, 2022. In other news, the Grants Bahama Chamber of Commerce, with Bahamas' first NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers Limited, hosting a reception last evening at the Pelican Bay Resort, celebrating the relaunch of NUA in the Grants Bahama community. NUA first opened its office in Grants Bahama in 1979. Addressing those in attendance was the Minister for Grants Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie.
As we forge ahead to redevelop the airport and finally secure the right buyer for the Grand Lucayan, the Ministry for Grand Bahama is working to execute the various mandates assigned to me by the Prime Minister, including partnering with NGOs, businesses, other government agencies, and the community at large to assist with meeting the basic needs of residents and for the growth and development of Grand Bahama Island. I've always believed that public-private partnerships is a key factor in the development of Grand Bahama, which has been underutilized over the years. These strategic alliances between government, corporate giants, and stakeholders can allow for the swift implementation of initiatives that address the needs of the community.
Minister Moxie noting that through the ministry's Collab Partnership for Development Unit, the Ministry for Grants Bahama is partnering with businesses and civic organizations to unite and mobilize resources and execute projects.
Transform our environment, improve Grand Bahama's tourism product by creating new experiences for visitors, provide shelters for those who are vulnerable, provide opportunities for employment, education and training, and overall relief to the residents of Grand Bahama, especially those who are reeling from the effects of past hurricanes and the pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, don't mind the noise in the market. The Ministry for Grand Bahama is working hard, but also working smart. We are connecting the dots, and we are ready to work with other government agencies, the corporate community, regulatory and municipal bodies, the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, international organizations, nonprofit organizations, sister cities, and most importantly, the community at large, to find solutions to the issues that plague us.
In other news, the Port Lucaya Experience was launched just over a week ago. It is an effort that involves the Ministry of Grants Bahama and several agencies to drive business into the marketplace that continues to struggle. Tonight, Azure Kwan talks with store operators to find out if the program is making a difference.
The Port Lucaya Marketplace store owners and managers all weighing in today on the Port Lucaya Experience 22. Now, the experience was formed by the Port Lucaya Administration Office, the Ministry for Grand Bahama, Ministry of Tourism, and BAIC. Now, store owners and managers are all saying that this experience is bringing a whole lot of excitement to the marketplace.
What's happening in Port Lucaya is what we've always waited for, what we've been waiting for a long time, and that is to hear the bands playing, to see tourists walking about, and to know that it's coming alive again.
I love it. I love the fact that Ministry of Tourism have stepped in with Ginger Moxie, and I think there's another entity, I can't remember the name, but I love the fact that someone out there is looking out for us.
I think the idea is excellent. It's overdue. And I think for tourists that are coming off the cruise ships, who are interested in shopping and dining in Port Lucaya, the entertainment is a plus. It keeps them engaged, gives them a part of, they get to experience a part of our culture in regards to the food and dining and the cultural experiences.
I feel like bringing all the entertainment with the Port Lucaya experience, it has brought life to this marketplace. And it has, of course, the people that are coming, our visitors, they're hanging around a little longer, and so they're walking through the businesses and they're, having more time to spend in the marketplace and to enjoy, what we have to offer here.
There are some stores that haven't seen much tourists purchasing, but they remain hopeful that more traffic will come in the days ahead.
We're having more tourists in the area right now, and so we're having them walk about. They're looking, they're not purchasing as much, but they're walking through, and so we have some activity.
More and more each day I see tourists are coming back, and that's a good sign, I think it's going to continue.
We're seeing more tourists, we get more business, and we hope to continue with it.
Meanwhile, there is one store that is having a conflicting view on the Port Lucaya experience. They say that they feel forgotten because they're at the back of the marketplace.
We are located in the back of the Port Lucaya marketplace, so we did not see really any more tourists, more than usual, which is probably why I didn't even realize that the initiative had started on Tuesday.
Although this is just the beginning of the Port Lucaya Experience 22, store owners and managers remain hopeful that more tourists will come to the marketplace. I'm Azure Quant, ZNS Network News.
At Coral Vita on Grand Bahama, you'll find the Coral Reef Farm, which is not a part of the 5-step restoration process of coral reefs. Create, monitor, nurture, raise, Season 1 1 of Grand Bahama Facts is sponsored by the Ministry for Grand Bahama.
Come on down. Come on down. Now.
Esquire Men's Freeport presents Passion for Fashion, Saturday, April 23rd from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Lucaya Shopping Center. Admission is free.
This Mother's Day, shop Pandora. With the purchase of $150 or more, receive a free bracelet. Offer valid April 21st through April 28th. Happy Mother's Day from Pandora, Port Lucaya.
KMW Battery and Tires. Brake installation. Brake parts not included. Labor starts at $40. Open up Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in today.
As parents, we may forget that our little ones are always watching us. And while you may think some things go unnoticed, they don't. No matter how big or small, there's no excuse to throw trash out of your car window. Remember, no one likes a little bug. So let's keep Grand Bahama clean by setting the right examples for our children. It's everyone's business and everyone's responsibility to keep Grand Bahama clean. Our lifestyles, our economy, and our future depend on it.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Some good news to report. With the easing of COVID-19 restrictions in the country, Grand Bahama Island is beginning to see an uptick in interest for destination weddings. That according to the Ministry of Tourism Grand Bahama office. The increase in interest is said to be due in part to the exposure the island of the Bahamas received last year when the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism launched a virtual romance expo, From the Bahamas with Love, which targeted consumers seeking to find inspiration for their perfect destination wedding, honeymoon, or romantic getaway. Tourism officials adding that Grand Bahama Island is an ideal destination to say I do, as it offers a wide variety of indoor and outdoor venues to host weddings, receptions, and lavish affairs. The Ministry of Tourism noting that it is pleased to see the increase in destination weddings for Grand Bahama and will continue to promote the streamlined, no-hassle legal regulations for getting married in the Bahamas. Now, the law states that the couple must reside in the Bahamas for 24 hours prior to the date of the application and present all official documents. In other news, students of the Jack Hayward Senior High School getting a lesson in self-development and perseverance, but it wasn't in the regular classroom setting. Students hearing from several speakers who encouraged them to follow their dreams. Azure Quant picks up that story.
Students and staff at the Jack Hayward Senior High School welcoming the Miss Teen Bahamas International Pageant contestants, queens, and organizers as they prepare for the preliminaries on the island. As part of their 2-day tour, Principal Bronwyn Smith says the school is honored to host the group in Wildcat Country.
Today we are part of history in the making. With excitement yet poise, we participate in the first official tour of Miss Bahamas Universe, Chantel O'Brien, and the first Teen Bahamas International preliminaries to be held in our beloved Grand Bahama.
Smith reminding contestants that they are all role models while thanking organizers of the pageant for their vision to empower women. The assembly hosted not only the contestants, but young girls ranging from the 10th through 12th grade at Jack Hayward and St. George's Senior High Schools. It was all smiles from those students as the contestants and queens strut on the red carpet, showing off their best pageant walk. Pageant organizer Clint Watson encouraging those in attendance of the power they have to impact their generation.
Young ladies, do not become confused
by those who are choosing other pathways. Do not allow them to define who you are as a young woman. You are a young woman that has potential, that has the ability to do well and to be great. These queens are examples of that. We have examples in sports. We have examples in business. We have examples in entertainment and arts. There are women in the Bahamas who are proving to you that if you stay focused, your name can be success and not gossip.
Sharonica Simeon, reflecting on her journey to the crown, adding that her win came at the second time she competed. Her word to the young ladies, in whatever you do, try again.
The first time I entered Miss Teen Bahamas, I was disappointed when I didn't win. You see, I came so close to winning, but still fell short. After my immediate disappointment, I allowed my positive attitude to kick in, and I surrounded myself with positive people. I was determined that I would go again. I surrounded myself with positive people who pushed me and encouraged me that it wasn't over, and all I needed to do was regroup, reevaluate, adjust, and try again.
Miss Bahamas 2021, Chantel O'Brien, leaving the young ladies with a message on confidence.
In life, there are many naysayers, from maybe family to friends. We may constantly be counted out. Has anybody ever been counted out? Has anyone ever been counted out? I know I have. Girls in different parts of the world find themselves disenfranchised because of lack of resources or simply because not many people care. This morning, you are not that girl. Confidence matters. Looking in a mirror and seeing yourself is different from looking in a mirror and seeing yourself. This morning, I want you to ask yourself, do I see myself?
6 contestants will be chosen at the preliminaries here on the island, and only one of the 6 will be crowned in New Providence. I'm Madra Quant, ZNS Network News.
Now, the preliminaries were held last evening at the Grand Lucaya Resort. The finals will be held on Sunday evening in the nation's capital. In other news, the Grand Bahama Port Authority says its SEED program is garnering positive attention among Bahamian STEM professionals abroad and educators within institutions locally. Its aim is to advance Freeport as a technology hub, galvanizing critical support to sustain a robust industrial sector. On Saturday, April 2nd, the GBPA collaborated with the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute, BTVI, and Alive to host a pilot STEM coding workshop facilitated by STEM Board. The one-day event gave 50 Grand Bahama students in grades 7 to 9 interactive, hands-on lessons on the basics of coding. Using STEM lingo coding kits, students learned to create a sensor commonly used in autonomous vehicles such as Teslas. The pilot workshop is the initial phase of the SEED program and enabled a broader understanding of resources and partnerships required. The overall goal is to implement the program within all high schools and adult learning institutions in Grand Bahama. Jay Philippe is next with your Friday evening sports check.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. Well, it's been a while, but track and field is back at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. The Fidelity Bank Island Sports High School track and field meet is expected to begin next week.
We will begin with the field events being held April 25th to the 28th after school. The track events will be held Friday and Saturday, the 29th and the 30th, beginning at 10 a.m. The hurdles and the relay finals will be held Monday, the 2nd, to wrap up this year's championships.
This is just not a sponsorship financially. This is a partnership. So we embrace this opportunity, and we know that we will be looking forward to seeing those athletes this year perform, hopefully next year in Carifta, since we're hosting Carifta.
The honorees of this year's meet is Stephanie Higgs and Kenton Roll.
I am happy for the honorees, those who have been chosen. I know them personally. They are veteran educators who have developed sports on the island here in Grand Bahama, and I believe that it is most fitting that it is in their honor this year.
Having passed through the past 3 years where we've been out of touch and out from and away from the track, it's now a very good time to be here. I am honored to be a part of this, having served under the Grand Bahama High School Association as the Assistant Secretary for the past 20 years, and being a physical education teacher.
Pizza Hut and KFC is also on board as a sponsor.
It is important to us to support our young athletes. Grand Bahama has some of the most talented youth in the world, and this track meet gives them the opportunity to showcase their hard work and athleticism.
We want to show the public that it is safe to come at this time, and you'll be sure to be protected by the law enforcement of the Bahamas for this great initiative sponsored by Fidelity Bank.
Sister Mary Patricia Junior Russell High School are the defending champs in the junior division, while Tabernacle will defend their title in the senior division. From the track to the tennis courts, here are the winners from the GVTA Easter Doubles tournament played at the Freeport Resort Tennis Courts. It's Kemp Knowles and Jessica Laura, respectively. Winning the men's doubles was Alan Hall and Stanley Wilson, and winning the mixed doubles was Tatiana Madu and Coach Alan Hall. That's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Have a great weekend and be blessed.
Come on and shop Saturday, April 23rd, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Champs Community Center pop-up shop located across from Hawksbill Gas Station for local items, fresh produce, and so much more. This is an event you don't want to miss.
With a mission to be the best, world-class athletes depend on Alive to stay connected. With our Freedom Plans, choose the way you want to be connected with a 1-day or 7-day Freedom Plan. With our 30-day Liberty Plans, choose the right bundle of talk, text, and data. And for postpaid, we've got Liberty Bundles loaded with talk, text, data, and even roaming. Alive's hard-working network was built for hard-working people. No matter your goal, we have a plan that you can depend on. We are Alive.
It's Afternoon Beat. 8:10 a.m. Afternoon Beat with Zion. Join me Monday to Friday from 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. on 8:10 a.m. It's the Afternoon Beat with Zion.
They're trying to push rich on me. They want to push rich on me. They don't care in front of company.
The King of the North is back. Howard 104.5 FM.
Which is not a part of the 5-step restoration process of coral reefs. If you guessed nurture, you are correct. Season 1 of Grand Bahama Facts is sponsored by the Ministry for Grand Bahama.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Keith Gibson, you are our Facebook friend tonight. We are grateful for your support. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Jamila Missick. Thank you so much for joining us. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Bahamas Tonight, the national report, security concerns about the Bahamas. BPL's union weighs in on those resignations, a tragic end to a late-night hit and run, and Team Bahamas against the world in rugby. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. Thanks so much for tuning in. Only a week after the Centers for Disease Control upgraded its travel advisory to the Bahamas to level 1, the U.S. Embassy has issued an advisory to its citizens. Be careful when visiting the city of Nassau. The alert, issued earlier this week, advises Americans to exercise vigilance, and this due to an uptick in reported violent crime in New Providence. According to the embassy, over the past month, tourists have reported 4 armed robberies occurring in areas frequented by visitors, as well as on-site or in the vicinity of short-term vacation rental properties without private security. Embassy officials also referencing the recent spike in homicides that are primarily gang-related, affecting the population in areas generally not frequented by tourists. Their call to action: be aware of your surroundings. Use caution when walking or driving at night. Do not physically resist any robbery attempt. Remove all items of value from plain sight in a vehicle and review personal security plans. Well, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell describing the alert as routine, one that does not impact the local tourism product, as the Bahamas is and remains a safe destination.
The United States government has a responsibility whenever there are crime events to warn their citizens about those events. What you know is that the Bahamas government also does the same thing for its citizens when it's traveling abroad. So this is a routine thing which is done by governments for the protection of their citizens. Now the question is, citizens have a right to read it, to ingest it, and decide what they're going to do. If you look at the evidence in the Bahamas, though, people keep saying, are you concerned? Yes, I'm always concerned about crime, and the Bahamas government is fighting its darndest to try and get on top of this issue. But the fact is, warning or no warning, the hotels are full in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Minister Mitchell's optimism, just the reassurance tourism needs as it rides high on pretty impressive numbers 2 years into the COVID-19 pandemic. After all, as the primary engine driving the economy, boosting tourism and investments is key to all other sectors. That said, its minister, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, anticipates the 2022-2023 budget allocating more money to market and promote the islands of the Bahamas as a top destination.
We're going to be very proactive in what we do. We'll be looking at the existing source markets of USA and Canada. We'll continue to work to get more tourists from areas that we currently serve, like Florida, for example, where there are 30 million people and we're only attracting some maybe 400, 500,000 stopover visitors. So there's much more ground there to be covered. So the reality is that we will look at these existing markets, but also be exploring new, what we call emerging markets. The Middle East, we'll be looking to see how we can get more airlift. Certainly South and Central America, we'll be very focused there as well in terms of airlift, but also in terms of attracting stopover visitors. And this is something we're going to continue to do over the course of the next year.
Tourism's continued success also reliant on local COVID numbers, and we can tell you that those figures are back in the double digits, with the April 21st dashboard showing 16 new infections, 14 of them right here on New Providence, and 1 each on Grand Bahama and Eleuthera. That puts our countrywide count to now 33,446, making up the 16, 9 females and 7 males. At last count, COVID hospitalizations were at 6, 2 of the sick at Doctors Hospital, the other 4 at Princess Margaret Hospital. As for active cases, that's at 132 against 8 recoveries for Thursday. Well, in news from the police this evening, a hit-and-run suspect surrenders to authorities just hours after the victim died at the scene. Cleopatra Murphy has the details of the country's latest traffic fatality.
A hit-and-run accident late Thursday night has claimed the life of a male pedestrian. The unidentified victim's mangled body lay in the middle of the street, while a solitary tennis shoe knocked off during the course of the fatal collision lay on the opposite side. Police press liaison officer Superintendent Audley Peters says police were alerted to the accident at the T-junction of Chippingham and West Bay Street shortly after 11.
On their arrival, they met a male lying in the northern lane with extensive injuries. Emergency medical services visited the scene, and following their assessments, they determined that there were no signs of life. The initial investigations in this incident revealed that the victim was crossing the street from the northern side of the road, and as he approached the southern side, a vehicle that was driving west in a westward direction struck him, sending him into another vehicle.
Police confirmed the driver behind the other vehicle remained on location to assist with their investigation. While the driver who hit the deceased has since turned himself in, authorities appeal to anyone with additional information on the incident to come forward. The public is advised that all traffic accidents are required to be reported to police by law, while those who are involved are also required to remain on the scene. While mortuary services took the victim's body away, Peters offers advice to pedestrians and motorists alike to help prevent future fatalities.
We also asked the pedestrians who are traversing the streets at night to exercise due care and attention so as to not become victims of incidents like these in the future. And for drivers, it's an accident. So you simply remain at the scene, await the police officers so that they can conduct the investigation and determine where the investigation should go in respect to who was at fault and who should be charged in respect to any accidents.
Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Online reports surfacing today that a Bahamian man was allegedly shot and killed in front of his family in Canada. While local authorities have not confirmed as much, Foreign Affairs Minister says officials of the foreign services in Canada are looking into the claim.
I know that there's a lot of interest in what's happening with these reports that have been largely on WhatsApp and social media about a Bahamian who was allegedly murdered in Canada. We've had our people in Canada, in the office in Ottawa, searching behind this, and they've been on to the RCMP. But there's not a lot of information that we have at the moment to confirm or deny whether this is in fact the case.
Well, take a look at this man on your screen. Police are counting on you, you see, to help find the alleged rapist. Authorities, though, haven't provided the suspect's name, age, or an address. They have confirmed he's between 5'8" and 5'9" tall, dark-skinned, and slim build. Police also on the hunt for this armed robbery suspect, whose age and address is also unknown. As for how he looks, authorities say he has a medium brown complexion, medium build, and stands between 5'6" and 5'8". If you can help police locate either of the men, contact the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9991, 502-9992, Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS, 911, or download the P3 Tips app. Meantime, a corrections officer finds himself behind bars. Officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit headed to the Bahamas Department of Corrections around 11 Thursday morning. There, they arrested a male corrections officer for possession of dangerous drugs and other related offenses. Police confirming that the suspected drugs, believed to be marijuana, weighs 5 3/4 pounds with an estimated street value of $5,750. The officers expected to be arraigned in a magistrate court following a thorough investigation. Operation Ceasefire officers executing a search warrant at a Ridgeland Park West home shortly after 9 Thursday night. Thanks to a canine dog search, they found a pistol with 4 unfired rounds of ammunition. 4 men were arrested. Then around 1 o'clock this morning, another search warrant was executed on a mailboat at Porter's Key Dock. In the end, officers found a black suitcase containing 8 large packages of suspected marijuana. The man suspected of the crime will soon face a magistrate. Well, still to come, the National Family Island Regatta underway, and Dame Marguerite marks a major milestone. We'll be back after the break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Welcome to a world where hope is still loud, where dreams are still relevant, and determination has no substitute. Welcome to a nation where the people are still warm, resilient, and innovative. And Commonwealth Bank is at the center of it all, giving innovation and progress an extra push for more than 60 years. We're here for Bahamians because we are Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
They say that when it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give into. A juicy piece of KFC to feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
To think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Fidelity. We're good for you.
Happy Earth Day 2022 Bahamas from the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection. We are celebrating Earth Day this year under the theme, Invest in Our Planet. And we all can make major and minor investments in our planet, not just developers, but each individual Bahamian can do their part to make our nation just a little richer. We can do this by investing in something like a vegetable garden, in taking walks around our neighborhoods, or short bike rides to reduce our carbon footprint. Turning your lights off and reducing the amount of water that you use on a daily basis can all reap rewards and return to our planet at large. Each and every Bahamian and resident and visitor can do their part to reduce our carbon footprint and have an impact on climate change and investing in our planet. Happy Earth Day, Bahamas!
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
The Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation has launched the Island Destination Stewardship to promote sustainable lifestyles and environmental protections throughout the Family Islands.
The projects that the councils will undertake will propel our islands to becoming a sustainable destination, which we are all hoping to achieve. sustainable in a true sense by adapting the GSTC criteria for destinations, which will serve as a basis for sustainable certifications. We can expect to see a very bright future in sustainability in all of our islands. We see our islands as having the capability to really sustain themselves for future generations, moving our visitors when they come throughout our communities, and giving them an opportunity to experience the natural beauty, that our islands offers.
For more information on this and other sustainable projects, please visit Bahamas.com. I'm Danielle Bodie, and this is Tourism Today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
Exuma, a playground for local sailors who are back on the seas as the National Family Island Regatta races into its second day following a 2-year pause. The domino effect? Well, local merchants reaping huge rewards. Our LaDawn Davis joins us live from Georgetown with the latest. Good evening, LaDawn.
Good evening, Makusla. Well, what I can tell you is that regattas and festivals would not be the same without BTC. You see, this corporate giant has agreed to actually sponsor all of the festivals and regattas this year. Now, my cameraman Quincy Jones and I was able to actually catch up with the CEO of BTC, Andre Foster, to talk about this latest move.
We are always here for our cultural events, and BTC has been a strong sponsor of everything. In fact, the regattas is just one of the events that we participate in. And we made a commitment to actually participate in every event in some form or fashion that every island's going to have this year. So whether it's going to be Crab Fest or Long Island Regatta or Rake and Strafe, we plan to be there in some form or fashion. Just like our network covers the entire archipelago, we want to be there for all the culture events that cover our archipelago. And this regatta especially is very, very special. I was very fortunate to be here 2 years ago for the last regatta, and I can tell you the energy and people wanting to come back out and be able to get back together, and the sailing, and just, again, experience something in person again. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic, and we're really excited to be here.
And I see a number of BTC has a large presence out here at the National Family Island Regatta. Talk to us a little bit about some of the products that you have out here.
Oh, well, look, just out here for regatta, we have a regatta special. So we have, again, we're pushing our super fast broadband, which offers 2 months of free service when you sign up. We're, of course, pushing our fixed mobile conversions products, meaning that when you bring your fixed and mobile service together, we give you great prices and great value. And then, of course, on the prepaid side, we're offering free phones. All they got to do is come and sign up for a new prepaid service or port from the other guys, and we'll give you that free device to take advantage of our great services. And the other thing we're doing right here at the regatta is the entire regatta free Wi-Fi for all patrons. So we're doing a lot to make sure that this is a success for everybody.
And that sounds pretty interesting for BTC customers. Talk to us a little bit more about the fiber upgrades that are taking place.
Listen, we have made a commitment that we want to bring the best broadband experience to the Bahamas, and again, across the entire archipelago. So we continue to invest millions of dollars every year, making sure we upgrade our fiber optic network in every island. So whether you're in, again, we're in the Exuma, so let me start with the small ones. Whether you're in Black Point or Estanio Key, you have fiber optics coming to your house. Or if you're in the big islands like New Providence and Grand Bahama, fiber optic upgrades are being done in those communities. So it's really critical for us to make sure our customers are receiving an amazing broadband experience. And listen, coming out of the pandemic, we know how important telecommunications was. So we've taken an opportunity to upgrade our network, make sure we have lots of capacity. So whether you're going to a virtual work from home, whether you're in school and now you're doing that remotely, our network's there to make sure you have the best experience.
Well, Makusla, what I can tell you is that I hope that we get an early Christmas gift from BTC this Christmas, because, BTC, I hope that we can actually, in the newsroom, can actually get a new phone, because, we definitely need it to actually report these live broadcasts on the Family Islands. Makusla?
Well, Adon, I'll be the first to tell you that back here in Nassau, we're certainly envious of you down there in Exuma. What's the general sentiment of residents down there? It's been 2 years. They're back out on the seas. What is the general feeling right now?
Well, Makasula, what I can tell you is that when we got here at 12 o'clock today, the airport was packed. It was full to capacity. Visitors and locals were lined up, waiting to catch taxis to get out to the regatta site. And when we got to the actual regatta site, it was indeed hot. Let me tell you, it was hot. But we spoke to a few business vendors and a few store vendors who say they welcome the fact that the country is now open and they're now able to see visitors and local actually patronizing their businesses after we've been locked down for 2 years as a result of COVID-19.
Well, in terms of thanks, LaDon. In terms of what is happening on the seas, we'll hear more from LaDon later down in our newscast. So thanks, LaDon, who's reporting live for us from Georgetown, Exuma at this moment. In other news this evening, Bahamas Electrical Workers Union President Kyle Wilson's welcoming the resignations of BPL CEO Whitney Hasty and Human Resources Director Evis Mizik, citing there has been a contentious history. According to Wilson, staffers felt disrespected by leadership, claiming career employees were put in a corner while unproven individuals were brought in above them and paid exorbitant salaries. He says there was just no industrial harmony.
Over the past 2 years, there's been a lot of highly publicized union actions and demonstrations, sick-outs, marches, where the union would have openly called for the resignation of the Human Resource Director, as we would have felt that the department was not servicing the company as it ought to. It was a total disaster, to almost say the least. And a lot of persons in the company felt as if they had nowhere to turn when it came to human resource issues. They felt like the leadership was cold.
Wilson contends where there is no structure, there is destruction, suggesting that despite upgrades at BPL, the company still hasn't been able to provide reliable power. He says employees feel they now have a chance for upward mobility, adding that the union would now like to see the multi-million-dollar Wärtsilä deal tabled.
I think that ought to be put before the Bahamian people. Millions and millions of dollars were spent, and the Bahamian people did not get value for their money. Many of these outages that take place are blamed on the union members or blamed on the workers, but what the Bahamian people don't understand is we have independent power producers. People who independently produce power on deals by the company, and they have been failing us, in my opinion, and there's been many outages as a result of them. And we get the blame because the Bahamian people don't know that outside of the BPL worker, there are other workers who are in the energy sector. These people are non-unionized people. As far as we know, we don't know what training they would have. These are foreign, some of them are foreign companies.
In other news this evening, education officials still awaiting an official decision from their health colleagues on when full classroom learning can resume. Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, says they're working hard to meet that goal.
It's in a hybrid model because the Ministry of Health has advised that the preferred standard is 3 feet apart. And you know, they've given some indication that if you don't do the preferred standard, you can bring everyone in. But I don't know how we can advocate for something that's not consistent with a preferred standard. We're in dialogue with the Minister of Health to ask him when can we get our children in normal numbers in the classroom. But the issue right now is that they have advised the preferred health standard is the 3 feet distancing. And so that has hampered us. But I'm in active dialogue. I spoke to him yesterday. I spoke to him the day before. I spoke to him the day before that to see when they see a green light to allow children 100%.
Everything is also on target for certain grade levels to sit national examinations in June.
The exams are on target, and I saw the schedule posted in the Ministry of Education foyer, so that's on standard. But there are some other challenges that we're facing. It's not business as usual, and so we are creating a number of interventions. We're looking at the high school diploma in terms of how that's been affected by the pandemic, and what modalities can be introduced where the pandemic interfered with meeting certain things. We're also looking at learning loss and all these things. So we're not in 100% normalcy yet, but we are pretty far advanced.
Well, still talking education this evening, it's time now for this week's Student of the Week. Where Are They Now? Feature with LaDawn Davis.
Honestly, I was very excited. I couldn't wait to go to college and start that new chapter of my life.
Former head boy of St. Anne's School, Enrique Pyfrom, is doing big things at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. The graduating senior, now 21 years old, is studying economics on a full-time scholarship.
I came in as a marketing major, but after speaking with some professors, I decided to change my major to economics. I've always been very interested in mathematics and money and figures, stats, that sort of thing. And so I felt like that was the best route for me. And the good thing about going to school at Morehouse is there are so many opportunities to get internships in the fields that you want and to leave the school with a full-time job opportunity. And so I really tried to immerse myself in the department as best as I could.
With a passion for singing and mentorship, Enrique says his college and campus life is an experience he wouldn't change for the world.
I'm a part of the Morehouse College Glee Club, and we get to sing and travel across the world, different concerts, and sing these songs, and it's very much a brotherhood. But that's just one thing. I'm also very active in new student recruitment and campus tours, and so I get to engage with people all the time there. It's very surreal putting myself in the place of someone who did that to me. Somebody came and recruited me, and so I definitely don't take it for granted. I understand the importance of, high schoolers in 12th grade and how big of a moment that is, trying to find their next steps and find their footing. And so I just very much enjoy reaching out to them and talking to them just simply about my experiences and what my Morehouse experience has been like.
Enrique, who was well on his way to completing yet another chapter in his life, gave this tidbit of advice to young men eager to pursue their dreams.
It doesn't matter where you attend school, as long as you're getting an education. I know for a fact, in my circumstance, where finances weren't necessarily something that, I had backing me, if it came down to it, I would attend the University of the Bahamas and make the best out of every situation that you possibly could.
Last summer, Enrique interned at Dell Technology in Austin, Texas. He received an offer to work there full-time and will start immediately after graduation in May. LaDawn Davis with the Student of the Week. Where Are They Now?
Culture in the Park starts tomorrow, and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture is hoping the planned activities help Bahamians get in the mood for the country's 49th and 50th birthdays. The initiative starts at Garden Hills #1 Community Park.
I'm confident that this event will mark an important step towards the promotion and preservation of the cultural heritage Bahamian. In appreciation of this cultural role of culture in society, the Ministry is working to provide an enabling environment for the growth of the culture sector. We are seeking to do this through new programs and policies. We will continue to support the creative sector of the fullest extent possible to ensure that our artists and cultural practitioners are empowered and benefit from their trade.
Turning 90 is a pretty big deal. So big, in fact, that it should be celebrated in grand style. And while some may opt for a birthday party or the enduring gems of diamonds or emeralds, the country's leading lady has taken a different approach to counting down to her big day. Carla Palmer reports.
In just a few weeks, come June this year, former Governor General, the Most Honorable Dame Marguerite Pindling, will be 90 years old. However, celebrations got underway this past Thursday with a luncheon in her honor at Sapodilla Restaurant with a short list of 80 very special guests attending.
She has taken me under her wing and taught me. What I saw in Lady Pindling was the dream that Sir Lyndon had for every young woman in this country. Aim high and be focused.
Words cannot in a minute express what this giant of a woman has done for me as a woman. My wish and my declaration for you is that God, the same God that kept you all these 90 years, will continue to keep you.
The plan by her family, aided by closest to friends, is to celebrate Dame Marguerite a day each month until her actual birthday on June 26. First, the Bahamian woman to vote, Ruby Ann Darling, and former Immigration Minister Loftus Roker say they were not missing the occasion.
In life, the one thing that really stands out and make people know who you are is love. And Dame has showed me nothing but love. And we love each other.
Is able to mix with kings and queens without losing the common touch. And that is what I think is great about her.
God, family, church, and country in that order is how Dame Marguerite expressed appreciation.
I'm going to be 90 in a couple of weeks, and I just want to give thanks for the blessing.
Dame Marguerite's hope is that every resident contributes to nation building, not forgetting how far the country has come and realizing there's still much more to be done. Her wish, not a tangible gift, but rather a simple request.
I ask you, please, to continue to remember me in your prayers.
Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30 and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
In some instances, Pops is a term of endearment for your beloved father or grandfather. However, this is referring to the persistent organic pollutants that are highly toxic and detrimental to humans and animals. These toxins accumulate in our fatty tissue from pesticides used to kill pests in agriculture and farming, industrial pollutants used in transformers and flame retardants, or fires in landfills, or the burning of certain materials in a backyard. For more information, contact the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, DEPP, by calling 322-4546 or visit www.depp.gov.bs. Let's protect, preserve, and sustain our environment. Happy Earth Day.
My Gateway is the centralized, safe, secure way to access and pay for government services online. Go to mygateway.gov.bs. Click Login. Register with a government-issued ID like your NIB card. Fill in your personal information exactly as it appears on your ID, including spaces, periods, and dashes. You'll only have to sign up once. Now you're ready to request services on My Gateway. Receive an email confirmation for every request and email alerts when your documents are ready. You must have a valid, government-issued ID in order to collect documents. New services will be added every month. My Gateway is fast, easy, and convenient. For more information, visit mygateway.gov.bs.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
Insurance, secure the ones that you love.
guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family, join the family, family guardian. Protect the ones you love, a friend that you can trust, family guardian.
We're learning, even playing, we're having lots of fun. We're working with each other until the day is done.
UNESCO's director and representative of the Cluster Office for the Caribbean had a busy 5-day visit here beginning April 3rd, 2022. The United Nations body funds a number of educational, science, and cultural programs in the Bahamas. Sadia Sanchez Vegas visited the Prime Minister's office, the Office of the Spouse, the National Art Gallery, among other stops. Anne-Marie Davis, wife of Prime Minister Philip Davis, told her about her work.
The social issues, which includes the mental health, the domestic violence, which is affecting the children far too much, and also the climate change that we're trying to incorporate into activities, as many activities as we can.
Tidri Bevans, UNESCO's Bahamas Office Director General, said these issues align with the UN body's goals, noting their funding of a climate change workshop here and a project in Cat Island.
The Biosphere Reserve Network, becoming a part of the network. We've already, we have some funding that has been received for a project in Cat Island to develop the first biosphere.
Sanchez Vegas was also hosted to a reception attended by Glenys Hannah Martin, the Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, Mario Boleg, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Miles Larota, Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, and Ambassador to UNESCO, Hope Strong. For Ed Talk, I am Ron Albert.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
We dedicate this entire segment to Earth Day. This year's theme, Invest in Our Planet. Initially mounted in 1970, the observance acknowledges the need for more environmental protection amid a continuing wave of pollution and deforestation. Since going global 20 years later, Earth Day mobilizes 200 million people in 141 countries. Today, Earth Day is widely recognized as the largest secular observance in the world, with the urgent fight for a clean environment underway. Well, the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources commemorating Earth Day with a ceremony at the Botanical Gardens this morning. There, Minister responsible, the Honorable Vaughn Miller, shared the importance of getting elementary students involved in environmental studies.
We want to be 30% renewables by the year 2030. That's a little over 7 years away. And so it's critically important that we inform the younger persons, we educate them to make certain that they get a foundation and a good understanding of where we're going and what we hope to accomplish as we journey in that direction.
The Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources also highlighted plans to decrease carbon emissions, noting that officials will increase reforestation efforts with the help of non-government organizations.
Dorian destroyed some 70% of the mangroves in Grand Bahama, some 40% of the mangroves in Abaco. And we know that mangroves, in terms of carbon sequestration, mangroves are able to retain 4 times more carbon than is done terrestrially. And so for us, in terms of reforestation, in terms of mangroves, that's something that's ongoing.
Well, tourism officials certainly recognize that visitors are attracted to the Bahamas because of its vast natural resources and diverse ecosystems. However, they acknowledge that climate change is a real threat to natural wealth, making it that more important to preserve and protect the country and introduce initiatives that steer towards a more sustainable future. For example, membership to various United Nations climate change committees, including the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, the Bahamas Destination Stewardship Council Initiative, the Bahamas Conference of Youth on Climate Change, and Cans for Kids pilot aluminum recycling program. Also touted, Grand Bahamas Lucaya National Park, the Abaco National Park, the Andros Barrier Reef, and Dean's Blue Hole in Long Island. All natural locations that continue to excel in conservation and ecotourism. CIBC First Caribbean praising 3 female environmentalists, meantime, as change makers for a more sustainable future domestically and internationally. As an extension to its International Women's Day theme, Gender Equality Today for Sustainable Tomorrow, CIBC officials believe Senior Forest Officer Ingeria Miller, Bahamas National Trust environmental educator and part-time mermaid Jonisha Cartwright, and author and Bahamas Plastic Movement founder Crystal Ambrose's common thread is their passion and commitment to not only the environment, but their country. Continuing with our Earth Day stories in this report, local environmentalists share advice on what residents can do to invest in the planet. Crystal Darling has the story.
Invest in our planet. The message organizers behind this year's Earth Day want you to take to heart, and that calls for taking action in the continued fight against climate change. Here's Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation project manager and best scholar Abigail Roll on how this can be achieved.
The ways we feel like we can invest in our future is to teach and educate persons about what they can do, not rely on big government or big corporations, but us as individuals. Each one can do something, and if that involves picking up our trash when we come off the beach, or using less single-use plastic, all those different ways we can invest. We can also put our money where our mouth is and invest in that way and donate to nonprofits or to a cause that is dear to our hearts as well.
To raise awareness about coral reefs and basically the marine environment, protecting it, because actually when we went out snorkeling today, we noticed some trash into the waters, like polluted with plastic and stuff like that. So ways we could save and protect the earth from pollution, whether it's climate change, all around.
Bahamas National Trust senior scientist Dr. Anselino Davis celebrates with his family. He says protecting natural resources is all part of BNT's mission to preserve the earth.
A big part of the Bahamas National Trust work is that we're protecting the Bahamas now for the future. And in the future, we'll have opportunities for people like Oliver here to then dive on a coral reef, to be able to have conch and lobster and land crab. Imagine the Bahamas without crab. Imagine us having Sunday dinner or Easter dinner without fish. That's not something that we really want to think about. But if we don't take care of our resources now, not just on Earth Day, but all year round, we're not going to have them for the future.
And Perry Institute for Marine Science Coral Manager Dr. Valeria Pizarro stresses the importance of everyone playing a part in environmental protection.
We are part of Earth, so we have to celebrate that we are part of this amazing world and that we can do and take actions to conserve and manage our ecosystems. So it's a way that we can live within nature. All the Bahamas, it's an island country as such. We are surrounded by so many really nice coastal marine ecosystems besides the terrestrials that we depend on, that the Bahamians should be proud of being in such an amazing place and just work to manage and conserve them.
The trio promises to continue engaging the community in environmental initiatives throughout the year. Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
Well, joining us live in studio this evening to speak more about the importance of Earth Day is Senior Forest Officer Danille Hanick. Danille, welcome to the Bahamas tonight. Invest in our planet, this year's Earth Day theme. How do you think the Bahamas is doing in terms of actually achieving that goal?
All right, good evening, Bahamas. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Happy Earth Day. Yes, the Bahamas is taking strides to actually achieve many tasks in terms of investing in our planet. So, for example, doing reforestation of our mangroves, but also conducting research. Also, in the fact of recently this week, there was a climate change and carbon credits bill that was just tabled. So this is that concept of capturing and monetizing our blue carbon. So blue carbon, our carbon sinks. We're known for our large sea area. We have 100,000 square miles. And so the fact is that we can then capitalize on our natural resources that would then in turn benefit the country. And so we do have some challenges with some deforestation, but that has actually in the grand scheme of things being reduced. And so we have been educating our public about the importance of trees, planting trees, the fact that we have to conserve our areas because we only have one country and we have one world. So our little part will actually play a large part in the global scheme of things.
You stress the importance of planting trees. We're hearing a lot about new housing subdivisions. Any concern about the cutting down of trees to make way for these new developments?
Development has to occur in a sustainable way. So there is this balance between having development, having housing complexes, or subdivisions, but also tourism investment. But the point is to have a balance with our environment, to work with our environment. So there is concern with some areas, especially that has been in the news or going viral. But the point is we want to urge persons to ensure that you have the necessary permits. We have a large number of protected tree species that require a permit to be harvested. These trees, we have at least 10% of our species that are just endemic, meaning only found in the Bahamas, in the whole world. So we have to protect them. And so we are encouraging the public. We are currently working with the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, is currently working with our Attorney General's office, as well as the Ministry of National Security to address these issues of persons who are illegally clearing lands that are not theirs, nor the fact that they do not have the proper permits. So we have to protect our environment, conserving them, and reporting the fact that if you're clearing illegally, the fact that there are consequences to that. We need trees to live. We need mangroves for our fish and for our conch industries especially. Could you imagine if we did not have those resources anymore? So the fact that we have trees, they help with our water quality, so everyone who has a well or who accesses a public pump, that water comes from water tables that are found in our pine forest areas that are in the western part of New Providence. So if we don't have the forest there to regenerate our water tables, then our water quality will suffer. And then on top of that, our soil erosion, meaning the air will become more dusty, there will be more side effects. We need trees to live, and we need to plant more trees that we can. So in terms of that response, yes, there are steps being taken to address those issues, and we're doing that also by encouraging Bahamians the fact that we need to conserve our environment, to plant more trees, to do cleanups around in the beach and in our communities, because we only have one Bahamas and we have to do our best to take care of it.
Well, thanks so much. Again, that's Danille Hanick, Senior Forest Officer. Thanks for joining us here on the Bahamas Tonight. As we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
My name is Alicia Poitea, and I've been using the Molfix brand for almost 10 years now. What I love about the Molfix brand is that it is of great quality, and I currently use it on my 2-year-old and my 5-month-old. I haven't had any issues with irritability or rashes or anything of that sort. What I love most about the Molfix brand is that I get value for money, and that to me is awesome.
When you testify in court, you're expected to tell the truth. Same goes for your insurance application form. You have to answer every question truthfully and provide all the information requested, or you could be found guilty of misrepresentation. That means your insurance company could deny your policy or refuse to pay your claim. Your insurance company relies on the information you provide to determine whether to issue you a policy. Leaving out just one piece of information could lead to misrepresentation. So read your application form carefully. If you're unsure about anything, ask your insurance agent or broker before completing and signing your insurance application form. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
April 2nd marks World Autism Awareness Day and kicked off World Autism Month. This special month is celebrated by wearing the color blue, which is meant to increase and understand the autism spectrum disorder, ASD, which appears to be one of the fastest growing development disability affecting Bahamian children. 1 in every 68 children are affected, with boys being 4 times more likely.
Although a lot of research is being conducted on this disorder, there remains a lot that needs to be done. As parents of an autistic child, we recognize that ASD is definitely more about his abilities rather than any perceived disabilities. These kids are unique in every way, shape, and form. They have the ability to love more and to be loved more and bring people from all walks of life together to show love and support for this community.
KO Bahamas Business Solutions
And Alive supports World Autism Month.
Hungry and looking for something so satisfying? Something to truly tantalize your taste buds? Then make it Charlie's, the home of the #1 cheesesteak in the world. Also serving up a variety of delicious wings, freshly cooked to order under 10 minutes. With 2 locations to serve you. Mall at Marathon, open from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. And the East-West Highway, next to Solomon's, from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. That's Charlie's, the home of the #1 cheesesteak in the world. 393-3100.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Lakeisha. It was a beautiful day here in Marsh Abaco, but in the capital, you have cloudy skies, temperature at 75 degrees, relative humidity 83%, east-northeast winds at 16 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,020.7 millibars, that's 30.13 inches, and the pressure is falling. Temperatures around the family violence this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 75 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green, Tulkey, and Marsh Abaco. In the Berry Islands, it is 75 degrees. Over in Allenstown, Bimini, 78, 75 in Harbor Island. Rock Sandy Lutra, 77 degrees. Also, Allenstown, Cat Island, that's 77. Black Point, Exuma, 75. Camps Base Island, 75 degrees. In Georgetown, Exuma, 78, 77. In Rumkey and San Salvador, Clownstown, Long Island, and Crooked Island reported 78, and that extends into Ragged Island. Ackland, 79 degrees. Over in Betsy Bay, Maywater, 79 degrees. Turks and Caicos Islands, 81, and Matthew County and Niagara at 80 degrees. And your voting forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Dow King, and the Pink Center. For all areas tonight through Sunday, northeast to east winds at 15 to 25 knots, once again with rough seas at 5 to 8 feet. So advisories remain in place for boaters through Sunday. Low tide, that will take place at 7:26 this evening with another low tide at 8:34 tomorrow morning. And it's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Agreeable, need it feeling out. Get a sailorman sound. Crawly agreeable, need it feeling out. Get a sailorman sound. You wanna go to heaven, put the radar on your head. That's a sailorman sound. If
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. Stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is to land.
Nature-based tourism supplies almost $50 million in revenue for Androsians every year. These priceless resources will continue to provide renewable benefits for thousands of people for years to come, as long as we take long-term action to preserve what's rightfully ours. The natural environment has played a vital role in our culture and economy for generations. Let's take care of nature, and nature will take care of us.
Family gatherings start with a trip to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets for great savings like Mahatma long grain rice, 10 pounds, $7.99. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, 2 for $5. Hunt's ketchup, 32 ounce, $2.69. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $1.19 per pound. Sweet cantaloupes, 2 for $5. Continue to save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
When you wanna save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you wanna look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
April 2nd marks World Autism Awareness Day and kicked off World Autism Month. This special month is celebrated by wearing the color blue, which is meant to increase and understand the autism spectrum disorder, ASD, which appears to be one of the fastest growing development disability affecting Bahamian children. 1 in every 68 children are affected, with boys being 4 times more likely.
Although a lot of research is being conducted on this disorder, there remains a lot that needs to be done. As parents of an autistic child, we recognize that ASD is definitely more about his abilities rather than any perceived disabilities. These kids are unique in every way, shape, and form. They have the ability to love more and to be loved more, and bring people from all walks of life together to show love and support for this community.
Hail Bahamas Business Solutions
And Alive supports World Autism Month.
To be the best, world-class athletes depend on Alive to stay connected. We are committed to promoting Bahamian excellence locally and on an international stage. With hundreds of thousands of people depending on us, we must be a strong, fast, and flexible network. With speeds as fast as Joanna and plans as flexible as Donald, there's a plan suitable for everyone starting as low as $1 a day. With our Freedom Plan, choose the way you want to be connected with a 1-day or 7-day Freedom Plan. With our 30-day Liberty Plan, choose the right bundle of talk, text, and data. And for postpaid, we've got Liberty bundles loaded with talk, text, data, and even roaming included. Alive's hard-working network was built for hard-working people. No matter your goal, we have a plan that you can depend on. We are Alive.
I teach your daughter, I teach your niece, all of these little things that they can understand. So when they go into their various schools, be it primary, be it junior, be it senior, all the coach have to do after she comes through Diamond Basketball Development Program is the X's and O's. That's it. Diamonds!
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Bahamas Aquatics still in celebration mode after winning its 4th straight title of the Carifta Swimming Championships in Barbados. Before the competition even started, though, the Bahamas was dealt a blow after 12-year-old Leonard Hamilton was deemed ineligible to represent the 242 because even though he was born in the Bahamas, he had previously represented the Turks and Caicos Islands at another international competition. While this could have dampened spirits, President of Bahamas Aquatics, Algernon Cargill, said the young man decided to look at it in a different way.
What he showed them was, okay, I can't swim in Carifta. I can't score any points for this team. but put me in a time trial. So he swam a time trial, and he outperformed the Turks and Caicos winning gold medalists.
After a second-place finish at the Carifta Track and Field Championships, Team Bahamas will now get the opportunity to compete on home soil next year, as the 50th anniversary of the Games coincides with our 50th anniversary of independence. And B3A's president, Dramico Archer, welcomes the challenge.
The enormity of that gifting to us to host the 50th anniversary of the Carifta Games has fallen upon not only the Federation, but also a country. There's no greater joy than when we see our athletes mount the podium. We have 1 year to go, and it is our expectation that we're not hosting the Carifta Games for a Jamaican party. And we promise you that we will produce the best team that the Bahamas has ever produced.
The 2022 Rugby America's North Sevens qualifiers will take place this weekend right here in the Bahamas. Action gets underway 9 o'clock tomorrow morning at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium.
There's been a lot of organisation, a lot of things going on behind the scenes, from having to move the goalpost from the multi-purpose field at the National Stadium. This is the first time they've ever been put onto the main stage in the National Stadium, to lots of logistics for transport. We've got 20 teams coming, 6 women's teams, 15 men's teams. Canada have already qualified for the Commonwealth Games, so there's only 1 spot left for the Commonwealth Games, and there's 2 spots up for grabs for the Rugby World Cup.
Our men's national team will open their campaign tomorrow at 12:10 p.m. against Mexico. They follow that up at 4:20 p.m. against Turks and Caicos and the Cayman Islands at 6:54 p.m.
Practice has been going excellent, even though we're split between 2 different islands, Freeport and here in Nassau. We have a lot of young boys who've been very dedicated to playing for the national team, work hard to get where we are. We're looking good moving into the tournament this weekend. It's going to be new for a lot of the boys. Probably only 3 or 4 of us have played at the national level before. A lot of these guys have not, so still a few butterflies, but we're working that out, but the boys are very excited. Mexico's tough. They're probably one of the top Caribbean teams right now. Turks and Caicos, we haven't played them in the sevens before, but Cayman, we have a long history with Cayman. They have a solid team coming into this tournament.
The Scholars Rowing Club from Exuma taking 2 athletes to the Copa America Coastal Championships in Peru, and they didn't disappoint, making history for the Bahamas. This marked the first time Bahamians have ever medaled at a world rowing event. Andrew Bowe won gold in the under-19 men's solo, while Destiny Roll won bronze in the under-19 women's solo. Mike Knowles was there in a coaching capacity.
We learned of the competition in February through the Bahamas Rowing Federation. And we were like, oh, yeah, absolutely. We're a coastal regatta. That's what we do. I'm over the moon, emotional, just so proud of them and all the work that they put in over the years. As a family islander, we know what it means to put in hard work to get the things that we want. There was some high-level competition in the girls' side in particular. Andrew, on the boys' side, he actually handled that pretty well. Next up for us, for sure, is going to be the World Beach Sprint Finals in Saundersfoot, United Kingdom. That's going to be the middle of October.
Knowles went on to say that being able to compete at such a level almost never happened.
A few years ago, we were a week away from shutting down when Andrew Bowe in particular, him and his sister showed interest in joining the club. Since then, we've had to build our own boats, so all of our equipment is handmade. And currently, we have between 10 and 12 active athletes, all young Exumians between the ages of 12 and 17.
WNBA star Jonquel Jones featured in a new State Farm commercial. Commenting on Twitter, Jonquel wrote, "People assume I only reach to get rebounds. Sometimes I reach to get pickles for Trae Young." The 6'6" big for the Connecticut Sun was alluding to the Atlanta Hawks star guard, who is also in the commercial and is 5 inches shorter. Jonquel herself needs help as well at the end of the ad, and in comes 7'3" Boban Marjanovic of the Dallas Mavericks. The Baines and Grandstown Summer Games has been launched. They will take place June 27th through the 30th.
Co-ed softball and basketball,
will be at the Sudden Recreational Grounds, track and field at the Tommy Robinson Sports Center. We have 3 divisions, 12 and under, 13 to 16, 17 and above. We have 5 zones, Dillies, Almonds, Star Apples, Canep, and Blue Marlins.
Area Member of Parliament Wade Watson fully on board.
This is a passion for me, and I would like to see our community transform using basketball and using softball and using track and field in this first year as an opportunity to showcase our skills and talents, but then also to bridge the gap between the various communities in Baines and Grantstown. There's an entrepreneurial opportunity involved as well, because we want to ensure that all of our vendors who will be selling goods and services or goods at the games will be from Baines and Grantstown.
The game's honorees will be Cynthia Mother Pratt and Fred Papa Smith.
Let's take the guns of the youngsters' hand and put the balls in their hand, put basketball, baseball, gloves in their hands. If they want to shoot something, let them shoot hoops.
That's a look at sport. To check on weather, up next.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Earth Day 2022 will be celebrated on the 22nd of April under the theme, Invest in Our Planet. God created this beautiful planet named Earth with human beings along with tens of thousands of plant and animal species. It is our only home. Let's take care of it for ourselves and future generations. I believe that the Bahamas has some of the most beautiful scenery on Earth, on land and in the ocean. We live in an era of unprecedented threats to our Earth, from climate change, melting glaciers, animal extinctions, pollution, and rising sea levels. Let's take care of it for ourselves and future generations of Bahamians. Let us take care of our planet, our home, our Earth. Happy Earth Day.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we continue to have that troughing across the northwest Bahamas, which will produce some showers in pockets. Otherwise, high pressure remaining in control, so those brisk winds will continue right through the weekend. Our forecast for the night calls for breezy conditions with showers in parts of the area. 72 degrees for your low. And tomorrow it is going to be another breezy day, but some sun will be in the forecast. High temperature tomorrow getting up to 81 degrees. And your extended weather forecast through the weekend, a couple of showers and thunderstorms primarily on Sunday. Otherwise, breezy conditions right into the middle of the week. We expect those winds to start breaking sometime on Wednesday. Temperature-wise, we're going to keep you into the low 80s and low 70s during the nighttime, and the breezy conditions will keep things nice and comfortable for you. Bakishma.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.